This is a poem by Robert W. Service entitled The Cremation of Sam McGee. There's strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who toil for gold. And the Arctic trails have their secret tales that can make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was a night on the marge of Lake LaBarge when I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the south to roam around the pole, God only knows, for he was always cold. But the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell. He'd often say in his homespun way, "Son, I'd rather live in hell." Well, it was on Christmas Day, and we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk of your cold through our parkas folded, stabbed like a driven nail. If our eyes would close and our lashes froze till sometimes we just couldn't see. It weren't much fun, but the only one, the whimper, was Sam McGee. And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, the dogs were fed and the stars overhead were dancing heel and toe. Well, he turned to me and, "Cap," says he, "I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking you, don't refuse my last request." Well, he seemed so low, I just couldn't say no. And he said with a sort of a moan, "It's this cursed cold. Got right hold, got me chilled clean through to the bone. Yeah, it ain't being dead. It's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear, come foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains." Well, pal's last need is a thing to heed, so I swore I would not fail. We started on at the streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. And he crouched on the sleigh and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. And by nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of my partner, Sam McGee. Well, I weren't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried on horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of that promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh and seemed to say, "You may tax your brawn and brain, but you promised true, so it's up to you to cremate those last remains." Well, promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. And in the days to come, though my lips were numb, in my heart how I cursed that load. In a long, long night by the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring howled out their woes to the lonesome snows. God, how I loathed that thing. Every day that quiet clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow. But on I went, till the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low. And the trail was bad, and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in. And I'd often sing to that hateful thing, and it would hearken with a grin. Well, till we came to the marge of Lake LaBarge, where a derelict there lay. And it was jammed in ice, and I could tell in a trice it was called the Alice May. And I looked at it, and thought a bit, and looked at my frozen chum. "And here," said I with a sudden cry, "is my crematorium." Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found was lying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. And the flames they soared, the furnace roared, such a blaze you seldom see. And I burrowed a hole in those glowing coals, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Well, it made me a hike, for I did not like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks. I don't know why. And the greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out and they danced about, and again I ventured near. I was filled with dread, but I bravely said, "I'll just take a peep inside, for I guess he's cooked, and it's time I looked." So the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile that you could see for a mile, and he said, "Please close that door, for it's fine in here, and I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and storm." Since I left Plum Tree in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm. Well, there are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who toil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that can make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was a night on the marge of Lake LaBarge when I cremated Sam McGee.